Why, hello. You're listening to Questboard, a podcast where we make up random characters. My name is Brandon.
And I'm Tiffany. And just so you know, we are not professional writers in any way, shape, or form. At least we don't claim to be. We just really like tabletop RPGs, and we do this for fun.
That's right. Hey, Tiff.
What?
A few days ago, I was coming home from work, and you know when you get that, sore throat, swollen sore throat feeling, you're like, oh God, is this a cold coming in?
Those are the worst.
And so, you know the thing of if you get that sign and you're like, oh, I have a cold, this is it, you will always get a cold. But then if you're like, nope, not today, I'm not dealing with this, you got like a 50-50 shot of actually deflecting and not getting sick at all.
Oh, I always go with the not today, I'm not dealing with this, because I still have to clean the house and do the thing and
Yeah,
be a
but
woman.
sometimes it's also a guy thing, equality.
Yeah, I know. My husband's very baby when it comes to getting colds, though.
Oh, don't get me started on that. As a guy who lives by himself and just takes care of himself.
Yeah, see, you actually have to get up and do the things, whereas he has me to wait on him hand and foot.
Anyway, so I was like, I had that, and I was like, no. Ever since I started this podcast,
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't have a cold or flu. Because it's a nightmare to record with my voice and all that stuff when it's like clogged up or coughy or scratchy and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, no, when you have to cough, we both just kind of pause.
Well, because I tried to edit out, so
yeah, we isolate
I don't
the
cough in your guys' ears.
We try not to. We try not to make annoying mouth sounds.
But it's always a pain. So then, and now, ever since then, I'm like, every time I get a cold, I'm like, no, I'm not dealing with this. I don't want to edit around this. And so I immediately, I took a detour home, bought some cough drops and all that stuff. I'm like,
nice.
I'm not dealing with this. And so, good news, I feel fine.
Apparently, honey and onions.
I heard about the honey, but I didn't know about the onions.
Yeah, you chop up the onions, put them in a jar, and then drizzle honey over it, and then kind of let that marinate, and then you eat the honey.
What I do is I buy those cough drops that have the gooey center.
Yeah,
it's like that honey gooey center or something like that. That is the best for me, or in my account. Those are the best when it comes to relieving your throat.
Yeah, they've got the lemon in them too, right? Lemon and honey.
Yeah, something like that.
I love those ones.
Yeah, I bought a bunch of those, and it was just a funny thing because of this podcast. I'm like, I just don't want to deal with it.
No.
Before then, I'm like, get cold, whatever. I'll be coughing for a while. It's fine, whatever. It's
now
just
it's
a cold.
No, my voice is my hobby.
Well, it makes editing worse, and I hate it even more. So I don't want to make it worse, and that's why.
So anyway, if you want to be our editor, no, I'm joking.
For free.
Yeah, we don't have money to pay you yet. But if you
We're
like editing
broke.
stuff, yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
I didn't have anything else to talk about.
No, colds suck. I fully agree. But more often than not, I'm just like, whatever. I'm fine. Keep going.
I feel like I have to have the mentality of no, you're not doing this. A stern parent, no.
Well, I have...
If you succumb to it or you accept it, it's guaranteed you're going to get sick.
I have a strong enough immune system that I'm just like, nice try. Not today. And then I drink some hot tea with honey in it. It's the honey.
Joke, obviously, what I'm about to say. Maybe your body's just disgusting enough that it dies in the habitat.
I'm not offended in the slightest. I've cultivated this habitat, and the viruses can't stand to be here.
All the bacteria and just horrible crap that's in your body. Side note, if you don't know, there are more bacteria in you than there are cells of you.
Yeah.
So it's there is good bacteria. That's an actual health thing. But to have so much, or even some additional ones that aren't the usual part of the body, just killing off any virus or anything like that.
You don't go here. Get out.
This is our turf.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that goofy buff henchman kind of voice.
With the big
or
arms.
the Kronk's voice.
Ah, yes. I can't really do the Kronk voice.
But Kronk is too nice.
He is too nice.
He's the definition of a himbo.
I was going to say, unless you pull out, what's his name? The guy from Family Guy, who is also voiced by the same guy who voices Kronk. Hey, Peter.
Oh, Joe.
Joe.
I was thinking maybe like Danny Trejo, the guy who's like plays Machete.
Yeah, no, he's pretty tough. He has more of a raspy voice, though. He sounds
Yeah,
like he has a cold.
But that is an actual tough thing. That's what we're trying to convey. Why are we assigning a voice to like the bacteria in your body? What are we doing?
Because that's what we do. Is it?
I'm now questioning my life. What am I doing? Where am I? Who am I? I'm in a fugue state.
We're in a room.
It's a padded room.
There's padding on the walls. I was getting there.
You're not really here. I'm just talking.
Oh, man. We are speaking to an invisible audience.
We are.
That's
talking into the void.
I was listening to a podcast on the way over here today, and they talked about talking to the invisible audience. I'm like, wait a sec. I do that.
What audience?
Exactly.
Sorry, we're not that popular.
If you are listening to us, thank you.
Sure. I guess we got nothing else to talk about. Do you want to make some characters?
Let's build some characters.
It's been a while since we did this.
I know. It's been a hot minute. All right. First character.
You want to read this one?
I got it. We have a druid who is a half-elf. So, half-elf druid. Wait a minute. Give me a minute. I have a list over here of how to read this. Origins, temple. Okay, so they come from, maybe they're like, you know, the head druid or something at the temple of something or other. I don't know. Background is queen. Okay, they are the queen at the temple. Fascinating. Let's go with our first bond. Is daughter dragonborn. So adopted, I'm assuming. And then who? A doctor. So this dragonborn daughter is a doctor. Fascinating. Next bond.
Why is this one so much harder? Or is it because it's been a while since we've done this?
It's probably been a while. We have a dwarven henchman. Dragon.
Just a straight up dragon.
It just says who? Dragon. So that's interesting. All right. Down below, we've got our mark of the past. Legend about a mercenary. Who is a mercenary? We don't know. They're just a mercenary. Impetus, what drives them? Corruption. By, I don't actually know how to say that word. Vassal? Vassal? There's two S's, so I want to make it longer, but vassal. He's got a vase.
My stab at this.
Good luck.
Yeah, this one's hard. My stab, I don't know exactly about like the two bonds. The daughter is kind of obvious. I don't know about a henchman dragon.
It could be a dragon who, goes into their humanoid shape, which just so happens to be a dwarf and is working as a henchman.
But okay, this is where I'm going to go from this, and this is why I don't. Well, it could be a green dragon.
It doesn't even have to be an actual dragon. It could just be a title.
Maybe. These are loose terms. We've always make it how we will or what we want.
It's all up to interpretation.
I have a feeling you're gonna help me out on this. So what I got so far is half elf, in which mother is a queen of a country, kingdom, or anything like that.
Okay.
But that would be the human mother and the elven father, who is a person from the temple.
Oh.
In which this temple is worships the god of nature and all that stuff. And this is why they become a druid through that god. And so even though cleric or whatever, I'm going to say homebrew of that's how they get druid powers is through nature. God of nature. But it could be the whole market past mercenary, all that stuff is basically they believe that's like you need to experience the world. Technically, this half elf is the druid is a prince or princess,
right?
But they believe that maybe it is a family tradition of you need to go out into the world to see the world to understand how it works in order to rule said kingdom and all that stuff. Best way to actually see around and actually make enough to survive, mercenary work, all that stuff. So it has been known for mercenary work, and recently they got called back from their mother because of there's a corruption of a vassal section of the kingdom that they need to go and stop or squash a potential uprising, basically rebellion.
Okay. Okay.
That's all the cards except for the bonds. That's what what I got.
Okay.
I mean, daughter is kind of obvious
Yeah.
because it's just the Dragonborn. Oh, you know what?
Adoption's a thing.
No, what I was gonna say is the henchman. You could hook up with a henchman.
Oh shoot! Yeah.
So what if like this henchman
Works for the person.
it works at the temple, and this, like I said, a green dragon is usually a dragon that's found in foresty areas and all that stuff.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense.
So what happens if this temple, which is a very known, like, it's the cathedral or the Vatican version of the god of nature, where
Yeah.
it's like such a huge kind of well-known temple and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the head of the religious building for this god of nature, I can't think of the name.
Mm.
They have to have like a green dragon or two because that is like showing the prestige.
I was also thinking maybe this dwarf henchman actually works for the person inciting the rebellion, but it's like a Romeo and Juliet situation where she's fallen in love with him.
Oh, you're applying the henchman to someone else's henchman,
Yeah.
not the. Okay,
Yeah.
I applied the henchman to the temple.
No, this person just is a henchman somewhere.
Yeah, you applied it somewhere else. I applied the henchman to the temple. That's
Yeah,
why green dragon and all that stuff.
Right.
That could be. I was just implying that the dragon dwarf is the father
Yeah.
or mother of the dragonborn daughter who's a doctor.
Yes.
Just to have those combined somewhere.
That works.
What I'm worried about is like, okay, that would be an interesting twist if it's a dragon. Like, what happens if this dragon worked for the temple as like a spy or whatever, or a defector who believes that like dragons are such a ancient proud race, or all that
Right.
stuff, that why do we have to be tied to this god and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
or act as like maybe they were like heralds of the god of nature and all that,
Maybe.
but then now they're tied down to basically being a temple pet, they
Yeah.
view it. And so then to bring down this thing so that they could be, this dragon believes is freedom, is to get rid of this kind of structure so that they don't get tied to the temple. Then they help with the rebellion or corruption of the vassal.
There you go.
Okay. And that will be the story throughout the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually getting to that, that'll be a whole side arc of just in this area.
What about the legend of the mercenary?
That's how initially that grew up in the teen years. Because we could make this person
gotcha.
like maybe in the like mid to high 20s.
I mean, they're a half elf, so they probably live longer than your average human.
Human
Right?
version of mid to high 20s.
Gotcha.
Or elf version of mid.
That yeah,
Whatever that is.
somewhere in the middle.
But basically, they got enough experience as mercenary work to see the world and all that stuff, but then got called back from their mother, the queen,
Gotcha.
to address this whole corruption vassal thing.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like that works.
Sweet.
It sort of helped out a little bit in some spots here and there.
No, you gave good inspirations and all that stuff. I can.
Normally, I just sit back and listen. I'm just like, yep, that's good. Cool. I like it. Mm-hmm.
Well, this one I feel was a little bit hard.
It's been a while. Yeah, we've been kind of dragging our feet on doing another one of these.
Because it takes more prep instead of just, okay, I have the list.
Yeah. Oh no, I have to hit a button and take a screenshot twice.
Well, I'm trying to come up with some excuse for us, okay?
No excuses.
Okay, I guess I'll read the second one.
Go for it.
Oh, we have another druid.
Yeah. I didn't want to do it, but
Oh well, let's see how different your druid is.
yeah.
So this is a druid dragonborn. The origin is a home. Who would have thought home is where you came from?
Home is where your rump rests.
The background will be a vassal.
Mm.
Was the dragonborn a druid a vassal? Or the parent? Something?
Meh.
But first bond would be a son who's a dwarf. Adoption's always a thing.
Yep.
Or stepchildren, whatever. Who is a warlock. Your son sold their soul. How do you feel about that? The other bond would be a henchman. A henchman, human?
Human.
Yeah. Human who is a vagabond. A little bit poor. Your henchman's a little bit poor. Maybe that's why they're your henchman or someone's
Maybe.
henchman. Mark of the past. friendship with a monk.
Hmm.
You're friends with a monk. A drunkard monk? Because the friendship is 2 pints of ale.
Ooh, drunken monk.
Yeah, it could be a drunken monk. Your impetus would be the fall of, what's that say?
Debt.
So, you fell, your home or something might fall due to debt, or is that why your henchman is also broke and a vagabond?
Well, I mean, you can't afford to have a henchman anymore, so he's out being a vagabond now.
True. So, what is your step?
So this dragonborn druid used to work for, someone who, I have words here, someone, who was like higher up, high and mighty.
lord?
A lord. Probably a lord. They were a vassal for that lord.
Okay.
And that was their home. But that lord, let's say that lord is the drunken monk and drank.
Oh, he was friends with this lord.
Yeah. No, this is just a mark of the past.
Yeah, it's
Not
a
necessarily.
friendship.
Yeah, maybe they were friends. But this drunken lord, due to the fact of needing lots and lots of booze, got really into debt. And so therefore had to let go all of their employees. And so this dragonborn druid, whose friend is human henchman, who was probably also working for the lord, but as more, henchmen, go off and do these things for me, had to fire everyone, had to let them all go. And so now you just have this druid and their son, apparently, who has now seen the need to sell their soul to help the family. maybe they're living in debt. They're just kind of barely scraping by. And once the son gets old enough, they're like, you know what? I'm going to try to help this family. Hey, you want to make a deal?
I just want to say real quick.
I
don't think you know what a vassal is.
I don't actually.
A vassal is like, hey, Tiffy, you have a small kingdom, right?
Yeah.
You're the leader of a small kingdom, and I'm a leader of a bigger kingdom. And I invade and I go to war with you. And I won the war, and I say, you are going to become a vassal of mine. So you get to keep your quote-unquote independence, but you're going to give me a bunch of payment and a bunch of resources. And if I ever go to war, you have to go to war with me.
Okay, that makes sense. No, I didn't know what that meant. I thought it meant
you
fancy
get to
servant.
stay as a royalty in this kingdom of yours.
Okay, well, this still works.
But I own you. So that is what a vassal is.
Okay, now
it's
I
not
know.
like, hey, I'm in debt, you're fired.
Yeah.
I just want to point this out.
I thought it was someone who works for them, but is
No.
their top notch.
Usually
person.
vassals is like, I own.
Okay.
You own land.
Well, this
but
could
I
still
own you
work
now.
because if the Lord goes in debt and stuff and starts demanding more and more from...
I think, yeah, it could work of, basically, you could be, if the Dragonborn Druid was like a lord,
Mhm.
and it's just like, the person's like, I'm in debt, I'm going to sell that land.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you don't have a home anymore, sorry.
So, yeah.
I just sold your land.
Origins was home.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, this person's been booted out on the streets. So it still works.
Yeah.
So it's here's this character who has now taken up life as basically a mercenary. And somewhere along the lines, you'll find their son, who's just this warlock now. And they're like, when did you start this? When did you sell your soul?
Oh, that's throughout the campaign?
Yeah, you'll just be like, what are you doing? And they're like, well, you left.
Okay, real quick question. How did the Dragonborn get druid powers?
Nature.
Cool.
Well, no. Maybe when the Dragonborn got kicked out, kicked to the curb, they maybe found a home with a druid circle and learned the way of being a druid.
They sang one song of Kumbaya, and they're like, I'm in.
Yeah. They pulled out the joint and started passing it around. They're like, oh, I like this.
Don't worry, man. It's legal now.
Yeah.
It's been legal for 10 years.
Has it been 10 years?
More like 13.
Ah, gosh, I'm old.
I was in college when they passed the bill to legalize marijuana in Washington. The state Washington.
Yeah, not the city on the other side of the country.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been that long.
Good gravy.
And I have 4 dispensaries near my house.
There's a lot
And
of them
I don't
around
smoke.
here.
I don't smoke pot.
My neighbors do,
Yeah.
and they were last night. Good times.
Okay, it sounds like we already have this.
Yeah, no, this person's just really down on their luck. So
It's a homeless druid.
yeah, hobo druid.
Hobo druid. In which what happens if like a former henchman vagabond where it's like, oh, you used to be like my
Oh, I just thought of
like
something.
steward or like just someone who like helped the finances of my estate.
What if this is the child of the previous one who was a doctor but got kicked to the curb and has now become a druid and learned the ways of medicinal healing? Not like, medicinal herbs and stuff. So their
But
background is doctor. I don't know. It's just that's just a random connection. But now they're a druid like their mother
the
was.
previous one, that's
Or parent
if
was.
the corrupted vassal actually succeeds in the uprising, because the daughter of the previous character is technically royalty. So why would they be a vassal? Unless
The uprising failed,
yes, and
then this
the uprising
family
was
became-
not the family.
I know.
You
I don't know.
forgot-
I'm
you
just
for-
saying. I'm
you
trying to
forgot these.
loosely connect them because they're both druids, but it doesn't need to be.
I see your attempt.
Yeah.
It was a nice try.
And
It would be an alternative universe if said
yeah.
thing failed possibly.
An
But
attempt was made.
attempt was made.
Not a good one. Scratch the last few minutes there.
So
Anyway,
it could be just like throughout the campaign of just like seeing their former steward and it's just like he's broke, he's a vagabond now.
mhm.
And then seeing their son and it's just like, well, he sold your soul.
I mean, what'd you get for it? Like, maybe they're like really money grubbing like the whole time. They're like every last little bit of gold they can get a hold of, they save it.
Oh, you're talking about the personality for the Druid Dragonborn?
Yeah, the main,
Oh, okay.
main character.
And then the final thing for the arc is encountering the monk, the drunken monk,
Yeah,
and beating the crap out of him out of frustration. I don't know.
maybe you just see them on the side of the road.
Resolve that whole thing.
You're
Well,
like,
it's got to be like paying back and all that stuff. Or
yeah,
possibly maybe the state of this kingdom is going down because of the drinking problem. And so then it could lead the party to lead an uprising to topple them over before they sell more and more land to neighboring kingdoms.
yep. Just topple a nation while you're at it.
And so, yeah, that could be a whole story arc.
Could be good times.
I guess that is it. That would be our two characters,
Mm-hmm.
the double druids. If you play these characters, please let us know down in the comment section of this YouTube video or on X at Questboard Pod or on Blue Sky at Questboard. If you have a posting suggestion for us to do our normal quest out of, let us know on any of those platforms. If you're listening to us on YouTube and want to listen to us on the go, we're on most podcasting platforms. If you're listening to us on the go and want to see some visuals, especially for character jams where Tiffany will actually display the cards that we're reading,
Yeah.
it's a little bit easier on YouTube. I will be posting it on our socials though,
Mhm.
but it's nice to follow along as we're doing it. So
Yeah.
YouTube's kind of the best for this one. But I think with that, I wish you all a good night.
And happy questing.